great time. Definitely.
The purple T90s.
And that advert where he scored with his head on the floor, amazing. Ronaldinho, he deserved. Look, he was in my top 10. So
he could not make you in a post box as well.
And not make you on a post box. Right, number 5 on this list. He made everyone's list. He was one of the very few players to do that. Went into management, had a great career there as well. Arguably scored the best Champions League final goal of all time. The most recognisable ball head in the history of football. Zinedine Zidane, and I'll read you through some of his lists, some of his stats. 2 Serie A titles, 1 La Liga title, 1 Champions League title, 1 Euros, 1 World Cup, 3 UEFA Team of the Years. He was voted the best French player of the 20th century in 2000. 125 goals, 138 assists for club, 2 goals in the final 98 World Cup. Keelan, are you happy with him at 5th in this list?
Yeah, I think 5th. I think that's very fair. I think on my list, I think I put him 6th, in which after that conversation, I think I would sort of edge putting him above Ronaldinho and just swapping them two. But amazing career for France and Real Madrid, and he was a magician in that midfield.
100%. Louie, what else
fifth's fair.
Yeah,
5th's fair. I think the top for me, the top 4. There's a guy who's going to be in 4th who I didn't have in my top 4. For me, I thought the top 4 was clear. I thought the top 4 was obviously the 2 people. I thought Pele was guaranteed top 4, and then I thought the likes of Zidane, Ronaldinho are going to be battling for 5th and 6th. 5th's fair. You look at great moments in the biggest of games, played for the biggest clubs in the world. One of the most recognisable figures in the world. They're the most, for me, the most complete midfielder of all time.
Okay.
Could dribble, could score every type of goal, could use his left foot, could use his right foot. Powerful, couldn't get the ball off him, could tackle as well, which people don't realise. He could tackle, could ping a ball. Just a sensational footballer, and one of the people you watch playing football and you just think, wow, this guy is a freak.
Yeah, watching early compilations of Zidane, growing up, it's wow, what this guy's doing is unbelievable. He's definitely, if you've got half an hour or so at home, Zidane probably some of the best comms.
Oh, mate.
Yeah. Probably the best first touch ever.
You'll need a sock for that.
But, away from all of that, away from the camaraderie, away from the nostalgia, what makes him a better player than Andres Iniesta?
I think the point I mentioned about being the most complete player of all time and doing it consistently. Iniesta did it consistently on a big occasion, but Zidane, the Champions League final, World Cup final. Did he score in the Euro final as well? Was that Trezeguet?
Trezeguet did.
It was Trezeguet, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Perez might have got the other.
I know he has that big black cloud over his career, Zidane, the headbutt, which for me personally is a great moment. But you can take that with a pinch of salt, and Iniesta doesn't have that. But I just think in terms of being the complete overall package, I think Zidane was the best at that. I think Iniesta was probably better at one specific thing, which was passing and the bits of link-up play.
Movement
and stuff like that. But I think Zidane overall as a package was better than Iniesta. I mean, it helps he's 6'2", built like a brick shithouse as well. Don't get me wrong. But Keelan, what do you reckon?
Similar to what you said. I think it was a bit more. In that respect, Iniesta was a bit more of a utility player, whereas Zidane was more of a sort of focus. And I think it was a bigger sort of impact on sort of getting goals and the attack, whereas Iniesta was more sort of patience, recycling, just sort of letting which obviously both are incredibly sort of good skills. But I think I'd say they're both sort of very sort of even players, but I just edge towards Zidane for those extra things that he's able to do, whereas Iniesta was, I'd say, sort of specialised more at the basics, whereas Zidane had a broader skill set that he could sort of utilise.
You know what? If I was doing this list again, And I was really factoring in careers. I might have him a bit lower, to be honest.
Was it him?
Yeah, because I mean, he won one. Look, he's remembered in my opinion more for his Madrid days than his Juventus days, right? And he won one league title at Real Madrid. When Real Madrid, after they won the league Champions League in 2002, when he scored the winning goal, you know they didn't actually make Zidane never went past the round 16 ever again for Real Madrid. And it's like, if you read this stuff out, it's like, okay, how does a player actually become better than Zidane? Because you can have Iniesta win a bunch of league titles, score, do this stuff for Spain back to back. By the way, Zidane also won back to back international tournaments.
Yeah, Euros and World Cup.
So his international career is great, but you can have Iniesta doing what he's doing. You can have Kaka do what he did. And I said Kevin De Bruyne earlier, and it kind of got scoffed at. But it's like, what can man do, bro? What can the man actually do? Are we just gonna say forever like this brother was?
No, I hear the point
because he's Zidane and he's elegant and he's.
But the thing with Iniesta,
yeah,
when he won the Champions League, he was not the main man in that team.
He wasn't
the franchise player. That was the GOAT who was the franchise player.
But, I don't know if Zidane was definitely the main man when Real Madrid won Champions League, because they had Raul and not R9. They had Raul. Raul bagged bare goals.
He did bag bare goals, but who stepped up for them in the hour of need?
I know, but Gareth Bale also stepped up for Real Madrid in the hour of need in 2018. He got no votes.
Gareth Bale, career-wise, is unlucky not to be in this list, bro. I'm not going to lie.
He is, but like... Gareth Bale wasn't Zinedine Zidane, bro. So we're just not gonna vote for him, bro.
But I must say though, when I was doing this list, I was that like 2000 early 2000s period. All these like players that get spoken about, it seems like they've won like not as much, near as much as before. Like, we've said it with Ronaldinho. Yeah. We said it on. Have you comment? Oh no, I think it's coming up. But, on Henry as well. Henry's kind of his sort of trophy collection's looking sort of bigger than.
And that's what I mean.
Even guys like Figo have huge trophy cabinets.
I think like a big part of that is I think that sort of the coaching that you have now, like there's such a big emphasis on teams, and you get these Man City teams and these Bayern teams that win the league 10 years in a row, and the Barcelona. And I just think like when you go back to those teams, there's like those sort of like late 80s, 90s teams like the AC Milan team and Ajax team that won, the Cruyff team that won loads of trophies in a row. But in that gap, just no team really seemed to be consistent. Like no team was winning loads.
Yeah, that's a good point I've never thought about. I have a question for both of you, right? If you switch Zidane and Iniesta, you put Zidane in that Barca team and you put Iniesta in that Madrid team, are both teams as successful or more successful than what they were? So do you think if Iniesta switches roles with Zidane, Iniesta's in that France team and that Real Madrid team instead of Zidane, do you think they win the Champions League, and do you think France win the World Cup?
I think France win the World Cup in '98. I don't think... I'll give Zidane credit. I don't think France would get to the final in World Cup 2006 if it wasn't for Zidane. Because Zidane carried them to that final performance-wise. I do have little memories of that. Him scoring in every knockout game, scoring the final, obviously having that great performance against Brazil. But aside from that, I don't think Iniesta would go into that Real Madrid team and they wouldn't be much better or worse off. I mean, that Real Madrid team wasn't that great anyways. The Galacticos weren't that great.
They weren't. Until Ronaldo arrived, they weren't.
Bro, yeah. And even, I think Valencia won the year, the league one of them years. Barcelona won a couple of them leagues.
Valencia got to the final of the Champions League as well, didn't they?
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know, man. The way I'm thinking about it is I'll put Zidane in, but if I'm actually being so real, if I'm being fair, it's like we got to start asking ourselves, how are we just going to put this Don in because he's such a name in ball, bro?
TikTok's going to shred you, bro.
I don't know. I don't think so, because I've given... I don't know. I haven't said Zidane was whack.
No, I understand your point.
I think what I've said is all very valid, but and again, look, I'll just come back to it, guys. That Henry got scoffed at for being in the top 10, and his career is not looking that much worse than Zidane's. That's what I'll say. Number 4 on this list. Okay. Considered by a lot of, let's say, people about 50 years old, the best player has ever been. Little magician, 5'5", but he can do all sorts with the football. Sadly, passed away last year. Was it
2 years ago?
2 years ago. Wow.
It'll be his second anniversary this year.
Yeah, the FIFA Player of the Century for the 20th century, Diego Maradona is at number 4. Diego Maradona is at number 4, and I'll read you some of his.
So there's someone higher than him who's not Ronaldo or Messi.
Yeah, I think I know who it is.
Yeah, we'll get there. But he,
That's
he got the joint out of this list, right? He got the joint most votes at second place, but no one had him first. He got 5 goals, 5 assists in the World Cup in 1986, considered until about recently probably the best individual World Cup
until a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and some might even still consider it as that because 10 GA, bro.
My dad does. Yeah.
2 Serie A titles with Napoli. They're only 2 ever. Their number 10 shirt at Napoli is retired because he was so good.
Yep.
League title in 2 different continents, Argentina and Europe. Oh, sorry, South America and Europe. 250 goals in 490 club games, which is very good for a player who wasn't a striker. And he actually drew the most fouls at a World Cup ever in 1986 when he drew 53 fouls. Is he rated very highly based on... I wouldn't say he had a short prime. He had a decent prime, actually, because in 1990 they got to the World Cup final as well. But did personal issues probably prevent him from becoming the undisputed GOAT?
Yes, they did. In a city and a club like Napoli, to become a god as an outsider, trust me, I feel like an outsider when I go there, and I've got blood from that part of the world. It's difficult to go there and be treated like God. Yeah. You know, how many people do you know who, one, in a foreign country, a foreign city, have a mural where people go and they pray to you? That is like above anything you can ever imagine. And that's as an outsider. That's as a foreigner. And that area of the world isn't very receptive to foreigners anyway.
Yeah.
So the fact that he has, achieved so much in football, but he's to many people a god. Like, I've got family in Napoli who are AC Milan fans, and they have pictures of Maradona on their wall.
Wow, that's bad.
That's crazy. Like, imagine you having a picture of Harry Kane on your wall.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And you watch clips of him, and this guy was getting fucking booted, bro. People were flying in 2-footed. Many England players who played against him in that 1986 World Cup said the whole game plan was to literally kill him.
Yeah.
The game plan was to kick him, punch him, pull his shirt, break his legs if you have to. And he still went on that game, despite basically getting assaulted every 5 seconds to score probably the best goal ever.
Yeah.
The old heads like my dad say, the pitches were rubbish, they were all bobbly and stuff like that, and maybe that's a valid point, but the fact that he was doing that on them pitches in those conditions, getting kicked the shit out of, doing that was ridiculous. And my dad says he used to climb 20-foot flipping pylons to get into the San Paolo to watch him play for the last 10 minutes of a game. Like, there's no one who would do that in this era of football. Even Messi and Ronaldo, like, no, there's not people. You're not going to risk your life to watch a guy play football. Like, for me, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, but would you say then? Actually, I'll come to you, Keelan. 2 league titles at Napoli, which is incredible because it's probably the equivalent of, let's say, Newcastle wins, or even a team lower than that, just going and winning 1 league and 1 in a few years.
It's like Leicester that's like Vardy winning the league twice with Leicester.
Yeah,
twice doing that.
If Vardy won the league title twice at Leicester, I mean, would we even have him in the top 30 players of all time? But what I'm saying with Maradona is, do you actually think his club career warrants him being in the top 4 players of all time?
Yeah, I do, because I think
despite he won no Champions League. He won a UEFA Cup with Napoli.
Yeah,
crazy again. 2
league titles. He didn't win the league title with Barcelona, but Barcelona had injuries. Yeah, I mean, top 4 players of all time.
Yeah. So then I feel like top 4, but there's the footage obviously of him, like it looks
crazy.
Edited, like it looks fake.
It looks fake.
But now obviously with those sort of those trophies that he obviously sort of could have won more. And so how I see Maradona, like almost like he can get comparisons to best and whatnot, but like he is almost like a bit of a part-time footballer in the fact that he was so good that he could just sort of take a year out and play one game and absolutely like win a final for his team, in which that's sort of what he done for Argentina, and sort of in the seasons that he sort of wanted to play, he played really well. And I think sort of, like as a whole, with the sort of obviously footage of him in terms of sort of players that can dribble with a ball, him and Messi are clear as top two. The ease of him to just dribble past like everyone, which is obviously mainly what I sort of see. I think that sort of justifies him being top four. But
man.
Have you watched the documentary?
No, I've watched the Football's Great.
He was getting extorted. He was getting used. He was playing games with broken ankles. They would inject him with shit to make him play. He was basically abusing his body to every single possible limit because he was that valuable to his country and to his club. You know, there was games where he couldn't walk, but they'd inject him with medication to make him play, and he'd play, and he'd be the best player on the pitch.
That's crazy.
Obviously, he had the whole stuff with the coke, but when I look at his life and I look what was happening to him at the time, I can understand why he might have turned to that. And it's uncomparable to anything we'd ever see today. It is uncomparable to anything.
He was the only player that didn't play during my time that I had in my top three. Maybe because I was just after Messi won the World Cup, so Messi's getting all these comparisons to Maradona, and he's being held as a standard bearer. So it's kind of like you got to put him in. Also, the clips you've seen of him, amazing. One clip in particular stands out where he scored like an indirect free kick inside the box, but it literally looks like a normal free kick. He scored 62 free kicks. Which
crazy.
People, I didn't know. If I'm being very fair, it's very harsh me putting him in and Pele not. I do regret that. And if I was doing a list again, probably have both of them in. Eye test wise, he's got to be there. And that World Cup in 1986 has to be easily top 3 World Cups from a player ever. So Maradona, there's not much you can say bad about him to be honest, apart from obviously
didn't win the Champions League.
Didn't Champions League, and that's a big factor, man. If
It
we're being real,
it is. But you've got to put into respect the clubs he played for. At the time, Barcelona weren't the Barcelona we know now.
Yeah, fair.
Napoli, it's impossible for them to win a Champions League,
so
even now.
Should Steven Gerrard get anywhere near the list?
Well, Steven Gerrard never won a league title at 20 attempts, and he had a more than capable team of winning the league. It wasn't an amazing Liverpool team at times, but it was. I mean, can you name one player from that Napoli team?
No.
Can you name one player from the Barcelona team Maradona played in?
No.
You know, but it's the teams he played for at the time. Barcelona aren't the Barcelona they are now, and Napoli are basically West Ham, obviously. But I mean, I'm from Napoli, my family's from Napoli, so it's like they're West Ham, and he won the league with them twice and a UEFA Cup. Which the UEFA Cup back in those days was still a big tournament because only the league winners of every league went to the Champions League.
Yeah, true.
So it was still a huge tournament, the UEFA Cup.
Yeah.
So that's like going to West Ham, winning 2 league titles on the Europa League.
Yeah, look, no, you're right. It doesn't help that he didn't play for, let's say, like a Liverpool or a
Madrid,
Juventus, who were the best teams at that time. And again, you know, it's like, is that? I don't know. Then I think you create a.
He got comfortable at Napoli. He got very comfortable at Napoli. He got very, very comfortable.
I just think he was on the grind at Napoli. Like he was trying to be like, he was trying to revolutionise things there. But it's like,
well, he's a god there, so it worked.
I know, but just because he's a god at Napoli, you know, Alan Shearer's a god at Newcastle.
Yeah, fair.
And it's like you've got so many of these players around the world who are gods in individual. Totti's a god at Roma. You know, so I don't know. I think if you're looking at the careers, I don't know if he makes top 3. If I'm honest, I don't think that's a top 3 career of all time. When we're saying certain players didn't win Champions League, certain players won the Champions League, but weren't that good in their prime. Hasn't got a Champions League at all.
The World Cup with the 5 goals, 5 assists is a huge factor.
I don't know. I'm sticking with that. Career-wise, he's not in top 3, but player and career wise, he might be. But look, I never watched him live, so yeah, I guess that's what you got to say about Maradona. Number 3 on this list. Yeah, got it. His name is Ronaldo. His name is Cristiano Ronaldo.
What?
Number 3.
Swear.
Number 3 in this list.
Swear
He was
what?
in, he was in everyone's top 10, but no one had him first. I can check where you guys had him. I'll do that in a sec.
What, Cristiano?
Yeah, I'll do that in a sec.
I know where I had him.
I know where I had him.
You had him second. You had him third.
Fourth.
Okay, you had him fourth.
But I would change it to third now. I had him fourth behind. I had Messi, Maradona, Pele, Ronaldo. I'd probably swap Pele and Ronaldo around now.
Cristiano Ronaldo's stocks at the moment are clearly very low. Clearly very low because this guy has 819 goals.
Crazy.
Some say it's the most ever because of obviously the dubious Pele's supposedly dubious record. But okay, at least the second most goals ever. He has 118 international goals, the most ever. He has the second most hat-tricks ever behind Pele. He has the most headed goals ever, 112. The most Champions League goals ever, 141. 5 Champions Leagues with 2 different clubs. 5 Ballon d'Ors, the second most ever. The most goals at European Championships ever, 14 goals, which that's not a small number at all. 1 Euros, 1 Nations League, 7 league titles. Has the top 3 highest scoring seasons in UCL history. Top scorer in each of the 3 peak seasons for Real Madrid when they won the Champions League 3 times in a row, when the team had never even retained the Champions League. Mm-hmm. He led his team to win it 3 times in a row. And yet, how is this guy not in your top 3?
You know what? He should be in my top 3.
Bro.
No, do you know? Can I just say something? We made this list just after the World Cup final.
Yeah.
So like at the time it was like fuck Ronaldo. Yeah. At the time it was
making a list in hatred, lads.
Yeah, no, it was. And Ronaldo for me is third. Okay, for me I'd change that. He'd be third for me. And without bias, he's second. But bro, Maradona is Maradona for me, and there's one clear GOAT. But for me, in terms of achievement wise and player wise, Ronaldo's probably second. But I'm not putting him above Maradona, bro, because agenda's got an agenda, innit?
Yeah,
and I'm a professional hater with these things, bro. So at the end of the day, he's top 3 definitely. I had him fourth. Being a dickhead, basically.
Keelan, you had him second?
Yeah, second. So obviously, there was a long ongoing GOAT debate, which I think's recently been ended. But yeah, like that was a GOAT debate between them two. So yeah, sort of obviously had to be second. But going back to like some of the other names mentioned, so he's got like 7 leagues and 5 Champions Leagues. That's like as many as the like 4 guys below him, I'm pretty sure, from what we've named. Amazing career, 800 odd goals in that. Top goal scorer in pretty much every competition he's played. Yeah. Got a Euros for Portugal. Obviously, he wasn't a key player in that, but he still played. He'd had an important game against Hungary. He was a key player. Like, he was a player in that team. He wasn't just sitting on the bench the whole tournament like he was in the final. Obviously that career, outstanding career. I think it's clearly second for me. But I get the Maradona.
I just don't like him.
Yeah.
No. How's Maradona? How is he actually better than CR7, bro? And I know man will hear that and be like, "What are you on about?" But if Maradona's better than CR7, then Zidane's probably better than CR7.
Do you want my honest answer?
George Best is better than CR7.
Do you want my honest answer?
Yeah.
Maradonna's not better than Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, he said it was a bias, to be fair.
But so why don't you have him in your list as?
Because Maradona's God, bro.
This is what happens, bro, and it's happened with Zidane a bit now as well.
Yeah, no, but
and it's happened with their players.
I'll admit that this has happened with Maradona.
But Ronaldo's a god.
And who did my dad have first? Maradona. Yeah, he had Maradona above Messi as well. So this is a guy that he's got Maradona above Messi. Yeah. So to certain people, Maradona's just God, bro.
Because you know what with Ronaldo,
it's the same thing with you and Henry. I see the Henry thing from a different perspective as what you do.
100%.
And I can completely understand. I'd understand if Henry was in your top 5.
100%, but
because he's made you feel certain things in your life that.
But actually, go back to the reasons I had Henry in my list. I said nothing to do with sentiment. I just said what he actually did.
Yeah, okay.
You know, Ronaldo, bro.
If Ronaldo went to West Ham and won the league,
yeah.
If he won the World Cup, he'd have an argument for being.
We're moving goalposts all sorts of places.
We are. But
because Kylian Mbappe won the league with Monaco. I know Monaco are a decent team. He's not on the list, you know.
He probably. I mean, in my original list, I had him.
He was in my list. He was very high in my list, by the way.
Where did you have him?
I had him 4th.
You're talking to me about having Maradona over.
Whoa, why can't
I had him 9th.
You had him 4th.
Yeah, bro. He's. I have not seen. I can't say I've seen 2 players in my lifetime who have been harder to stop on the football pitch than Mbappe, bro. Do you know how hard this guy is to stop on the pitch?
But okay, so that's that. Do you know how hard Maradona was to stop on the pitch?
He was very hard to stop on the pitch, but he got stopped way more
than Mbappe did. No,
he got
relax. Relax.
He did.
Fam, come on now.
Wait, production's shaking his head. Bro, Mbappe is recent, so it don't sound right. Yeah. And he hasn't got the.
It don't sound right.
He hasn't got the.
It don't
the
sound
heritage yet because he hasn't played the game for hundreds of years. But this guy he's a myth. Yeah.
And
he's
so
too fast,
bro.
You actually can't stop him, bro.
They used to kill Maradona on the pitch. They used to kick the fucking shit out of him.
So what, bro?
Yeah, Grealish
gets
kicked.
Grealish gets kicked, bro.
Not like that, though. Not like that. The whole game plan isn't to kick Grealish. That's not
bro.
Cool, like, he gets kicked, but that was the game back then. Like, it was
the game, bro.
I'm not trying to hear some guy gets kicked.
I can hear your argument, I can hear. But my man's got Mbappe 4th.
Yeah, nah,
I didn't say Mbappe, bro. Maradona was above Mbappe, by the way, in my thing. But if I think about it, bro, Mbappe got 8 goals at this World Cup, and I don't know how many assists, about like 3 assists. Last World Cup, he got 4 goals. He's already 4th, I think, in World Cup goal scoring records. He's gonna break that record, right? He's gonna break the France all-time goal scoring record. Who knows how many trophies this guy's gonna win in his career? He's only 24, bro. Yeah. Like I don't see how he doesn't deserve
10 years
to be
time,
in this list.
10 years time, he could be there.
Yeah, but why?
Bro, he's already been about for 5 years,
10
bro.
years time, because that's when I was doing my list. I was looking at Mbappe's career to date.
Mbappe's career to date,
and like someone that like
okay,
but
so,
it's like he's in his career. He's only 23. Cool, but if he retired today, and let's say said he retired at like his career is as good as so many other players we've mentioned in this list. It doesn't matter that he's 23.
If he retired today at 23 and Pele would have retired at 23 at the time, or Maradona would have retired at 23 at the time, their career would be just as good as what Mbappe's is now.
No, it wouldn't. No. Maradona was 23 in 1983, so he wouldn't have had the World Cup.
Okay.
You can't,
but
because you can't just throw things.
Pele would have.
Pele would have, yeah, and bro, I can't.
Pele would have.
Like,
Messi would have. Ronaldo would have.
Yes, Messi, Ronaldo, cool.
R9 probably would have.
Bro, I don't know, man. Like, it's a recent thing, so people don't want to say it.
No,
but actually,
bro,
I don't know. When I'm watching them, I'm like, what the hell, bro?
No, Mbappe's a joke. He's a joke, but he can't be top 5 now. Right now, he can't be top 5.
We're putting in dons like Zidane, comfortably in the top 5. Who've actually won. Zidane's retired and he's won less league titles than Mbappe, bro.
Yeah.
And we can't say, but Zidane was a key part of his team. Mbappe is the key.
He's got less league titles on Michael Carrick as well.
Yeah. But it's like, bro, the criteria clearly for many voters is what name holds the most weight in football, bro. And Mbappe's name right now doesn't hold enough weight in football.
Holding the weight, is that not a very valid point?
Nah, man, because I feel like you've got bare nostalgia merchants from the 2000s who rate certain man so highly because they made them fall in love with the game, whatever, bro. You're never gonna. Your first love's always. They say it's always gonna be that's the one, bro.
Yeah, like, and that's
and
fair,
it's hard to shake that, bro.
But
if you look at the facts, bro,
the whole criteria was do whatever you feel.
Fairs, bro.
That was the criteria.
Fairs, bro. It was, but like.
So the feeling of it.
Yeah.
The best thing about football is the feeling you get from it.
100%, bro.
That's the best thing about football.
But can you say you've had more of a feeling than Zidane than Mbappe? But that's kind of impossible to, bro. Like, because
it's not though.
Because you weren't watching Zidane week in, week out for Real Madrid, bro. And I'm not saying you're watching PSG.
I'm not. I mean, to be fair, since Messi's been there, I have. But that's because Messi's been there.
Nah, man.
But if Messi wasn't at PSG, I wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And neither would you. You probably wouldn't give a shit either.
As I said, let's not forget how good he was for Monaco as well.
Mbappe is disgusting. He's disgustingly good. Yeah. He is.
5 years of incredible service to the game, like some of the best service.
Of course.
You're ever going to see in football.
I have a question, right?
Yeah.
I have a question. So Rooney at 23.
Yeah.
Was Rooney at 23? Was his career as good as Mbappe's at 23 right now?
Probably.
What about Michael?
No, it wasn't.
What about Michael
Because
Owen?
Mbappe has the World Cup.
Yeah, but
Michael
the World Cup.
No, we can't now
No,
try to.
no,
this,
I'm not saying that.
We just rated Maradona.
But that's the one thing
Yeah.
he would have over Rooney is that.
But bro, it's not even a
But
thing.
Maradona has that on him. They have the same.
Yeah.
And Maradona was the best player undisputed at that World Cup. Mbappe wasn't the best player at the World Cup in 2018.
I had Maradona third.
I know you did, but I'm saying this was the argument you used a second ago.
Yeah.
How do you have
but
guys like Maradona above? And if you're going on about career, how do you have Mbappe above Henry?
Yeah. I mean,
There you go.
I just think.
Is it because of the feeling?
Bro, I'm Henry's biggest fan.
But
bro.
is it because of the feeling though? Because career-wise,
I just think Mbappe is. Bro,
there you go.
I
So it's the
think
feeling.
he's better.
There you go. There you go.
No, but I
There you
asked
go.
you about Zidane. You said the feeling, but I'm just like, how is that possible when
Yeah.
you've seen so much more of Mbappe than Zidane? I don't know. I feel like Zidane, Dino. Who else is in this
I'm
list?
still waiting for that Mbappe top UCL campaign.
Fairs, bro, and that's valid.
And it will come. No, it will come, and it will come.
It
And
will
I'm
come,
by no means saying Mbappe's not good. He's phenomenal. Like he's
Hat trick in the World Cup
yeah,
final,
and
bro.
2 penalties, bro. Like
Bro, hat trick, bro.
Nah,
Man's got
Messi scored like 5 pens in the
Bro,
year.
let's go back.
still, it's 2 pens.
Still against probably the best keeper,
No,
penalty saving keeper.
and it's-
He went the same way 3 times,
No,
bro.
he's
For
got
3
balls of steel.
pens,
He's
bro.
got balls of steel. He's got balls
Bro,
of steel.
he's crazy.
He's got balls of steel, but it's not a hat trick. You
He's a myth,
look
man.
at, you think it's an amazing hat trick. The second goal was great, but it's not like a classic.
France took 6 pens that game. He scored his 3.
Yeah, no,
the 2 other guys
What
missed.
more
and
could
one
the
guy
man have
scored.
done, man?
No, it's true. It's true. And there's nothing more he could have done.
But
But then
anyway,
if it was Messi on the other side, right? Ronaldo fans would have turned around and be like, "Oh, Messi didn't win it," but there was nothing more Messi could have done.
you're right, but we would all have Messi in our top 2s, though, easily.
Of course we would have.
So,
But that's because he's, yeah.
yeah, we went off track there because Ronaldo was actually the player we were talking about. But we will move on because we're going to bring Cristiano Ronaldo back up again. Number 2 is R9, Ronaldo, and I'll read you through.
That's brazy him being above Cristiano.
It's brazy, to be honest.
It's
brazy, bro.
Nuts.
It's brazy. I know older heads will be like, nah, man. But yeah.
Did you know what I was saying a minute ago about like I'm a professional like Ronaldo hater? Like in a way I am, but
It's going too far, fam.
having him below R9 is crazy.
It's going too far. Look, R9, let's give him credit. 15 goals in the World Cup, second most ever. Joint most FIFA Player of the Year awards with 3 before the award ended. 2 Copa Americas, 2 World Cups. Don't want to give him a slight, but 1 of the World Cups I don't think he really played. 94.
He didn't play at all.
Yeah,
He didn't play at all. Okay, so 1 World Cup, if we're being fair. Youngest Ballon d'Or winner ever, 21 years, 92 days.
Crazy.
A UEFA Cup, Confederations Cup, 247 league goals in 343 league games, incredible goal scoring record. Yeah, I mean, R9, I think as well, 47 goals in 49 games for Barcelona in his first ever season at 20 years old.
Crazy, bro.
Clearly one of the best talents ever to play the game. But
Unlucky with injuries as well.
unlucky with injuries, clearly. But how is he above Cristiano Ronaldo?
That's crazy.
So I had him 10th.
You know him 10th.
Yeah, I don't think he deserves to be there at all. And obviously, a lot of this was brewing in my mind when you were talking about Mbappe. When I compare Mbappe and Ronaldo's career, like Mbappe's had a better career than Ronaldo's had already, and he's 23.
Ronaldo had a Ballon d'Or at Mbappe's age.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, he did get injured, and obviously injuries are unfortunate, but they can't be ignored. Like if you're not, like as you say always, availability is the main aspect of a player. Like if they can't play, they can't be that good of a football. Like they can't perform well on the pitch if they're not.
Diaby would be the best.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think, I think he won one league. No leagues at Inter Milan. No leagues at Barca. It was only 1 season. And 1 league at Real Madrid. No Champions Leagues. The guy's scored like 14 Champions League goals. Yeah, like my brothers, obviously, yeah, going to be watching it saying like, yeah, nah, he's crazy, which I completely get that. And that's why I see him so similar to Mbappe. They're very similar players, the way they've just came onto the scene at a young age and just scored goals for fun. But I just think his career was very short. Obviously, a lot of those honours are for Brazil, in which that is normally like a sort of good cherry on the cake for most players. But I think his club career is really bad away from that. Hence why I put him there. And yeah, I'm like, very surprised he's second. Like, but he should, no way he should be above Ronaldo.
I'm shocked
I
he's
expected
second.
him like third or fourth.
Yeah.
But
I'm shocked he's second. I'm not surprised he's top 5 because he probably is top 5, all things considered. Obviously, I know you mentioned the point about Inter and not winning it at Barca, but as I said earlier, with Barca, before Messi, right, I don't think people realise this, Barca weren't like this win everything club. Like, before Messi, they had one Champions League?
Maybe 2. I don't know. Barca were a big team, bro.
They were a big team, but
we spoke about how big Johan Cruyff was for Barca.
Yeah, I know.
We can't just be saying.
But they weren't like a win at all costs team like what they were when Pep came in.
Wasn't,
they weren't.
Like,
They weren't
a
Madrid.
few years
They weren't Madrid or AC Milan.
Nah, they were. But Barca was still a big team, man. Like,
No, they were still a big team, but not winning the league there isn't something to hold against a player, I don't think. When
it is,
for a
man.
short spell, I don't think
it is, bro.
for me, it was more the Real Madrids and Inter one out of all those.
Yeah, that's
because obviously, Barca was a short spell.
Bro, like, I was having the debate with my brother. Well, not even the debate, but we were talking about best players of all time. I said Ronaldo, CR7 is better than R9, and I don't know. R9 for me is definition of. He sums up the generation just after me, I think, in terms of how they rate players, man. Because Fairs, I get it, his prime, 98 World Cup, incredible, 2002. You just had to be there. I wasn't there, unfortunately. But, like, there's this thing with CR7 where people, like, he's not
Because
great.
people don't like him. Because my dad had him 7th.
Yeah, but
in his list.
yeah, because he's not actually that great a footballer. He just scores tap-ins. But bro, Ronaldo's played how many different positions? Left wing, right wing, striker. Yeah.
Yeah,
How
fantastic.
the variety of goals, bro. Man will score a goal. He'll run a past man, score. He'll head it in the box, score. He'll bang one from 40 yards. He'll bang a free kick. R9 can't bang. Free
I also
R9
think-
can't bang one from
right.
40 yards.
You're right.
He's not, bro. He's not
Yeah,
better than
you're
him.
right. And I also think the generation before us, they look at World Cups as a lot of the time the be-all and end-all. And obviously, Ronaldo doesn't have that. But that's what people don't consider is not his fault where he was born. Yeah. If Ronaldo was born in Portugal, like CR, if Ronaldo was born in Brazil, he probably has a World Cup.
Mate, what I will say is, like, his World Cup record is like his blemish. He should have more knockout goals. He
should.
has
That's poor.
Because Portugal's a good nation, man.
Yeah.
I know. Look, 2000s, early 10s, Portugal weren't that great, bro. They had players like Simão, the second best player. Simão was alright.
Nani was probably one of the second best
was
players
up
at that
there.
point. Yeah.
And you're right. R9 was playing with dons like Rivaldo, and you know,
Ronaldinho.
like Ronaldinho, Romario, and
Cafu,
Carlos, bro. So it's like, are we not going to take that into account for R9 as well? I don't know. I just think it's not even just R9 I'm mad at, bro. I'm mad at all the other players that got calmly in this list and we don't really bat an eyelid, bro. Yeah. But then when you see something like that, it's like, what the hell, bro?
Yeah, I don't know why he's second over
It's
CR.
like, what the hell?
Because I think when I done mine, like the top 4 was the top 4, and then like I could do that list 10 times, and the 5 to 10 will change all the time. But yeah, that is a step too far.
It's too far, bro. Like,
I think I know who had him 1 as well. I think I know a couple of people.
Nah, a few man had him 1, and I get it, but it's like.
Did anyone our age have him 1?
Nah, maybe. I think your boy Cam Smart had him like second or maybe or first.
Really?
Yeah, bro. I get his prime. He might be the best talent ever to play the game. He might be, bro. But how many times we've had in this game?
Didn't he have CR number 1 though?
Nah, he didn't. Nah.
Did he not?
No one has Cristiano Ronaldo number 1.
Okay.
But it's such a weird one with Ronaldo, bro. 819 goals. His goal record is untouchable.
I can understand people putting him number 2. But having him number 1 is crazy, bro, because there's no way in any realm of imagination that he is a better player or had a better career than the guy at number 1.
I think 2 years ago he had a better career, but I don't think he did. I think like no trophy for Argentina. If Messi did retire like that would have been sad.
It doesn't change anything.
But last thing on R9, I don't want to like act like I'm like, shitting on him, bro. He was a top baller. He was elite as it gets. I don't know. I just can't help but think like.
It's kind of
Look,
nostalgic thing.
Henri will say, R9 is better than me. I'm not saying but like,
I know what you're gonna say, and it's crazy.
man had a better career. Henri had a better career than R9. Facts.
Agreed.
Henri was scoring at a similar rate to R9. Henri was doing similar things on the football pitch to R9. I'll let the viewer at home work out why Henri can't be anywhere near. Henri can't be anywhere near his list apparently, but we can have R9 second.
Fourth Amendment right now, or is it a second? The right to remain silent.
I definitely definitely hear that. Like both, I think they both got one World Cup.
And look,
Ronaldo's got an extra Copa America here. Obviously, Henri has the Euros, but then you look at club career, and Henri is clear of Ronaldo in club career for me.
Has to be. And look, I know Arnaud was a better big game player, but anyway, number one, he was in all lists. Well, one person didn't have their list.
Who the fuck is that?
I'll reveal later.
Don't name and shame him.
I don't want to name and shame him. I'm not shaming him now. No one voted him lower than third. 11 league titles, 4 Champions Leagues, 1 Copa America, 1 World Cup, 7 Ballon d'Ors, the most ever, 6 European Golden Shoes, the most ever. Barcelona's all-time top scorer of 672 goals. Argentina's all-time top scorer of 98 goals. 386 assists, the most ever in football. 793 career goals, the second most ever if you're taking away Pele. Most goals in the calendar year in 2012, 91 goals. 2 World Cup Golden Balls. 7 goals and 3 assists in the last World Cup. He is the best player to have played this sport. There's no blemish on his name.
Nah.
Lionel Messi.
The GOAT. And he's been the GOAT. He'll remain the GOAT. He is... I've never seen a player who can do what he does with a football. In terms of the best creative player of all time, the best per game, per 90 minutes, the best goal scorer of all time, the best dribbler of all time, the best free kick taker of all time. He's just the best of everything all time. Other than the only thing that individual has over him is probably Ronaldo's better in the air. Other than that, there's not a player who is better than him at anything.
Yeah, no, I hard to disagree, Keelan. I mean, I know obviously we've had loads of chats off camera, and you have you've up and down. I'm sure you've always rated him as a top baller, but as you say, the World Cup.
Yeah, I think like the World Cup and the Copa America, I think that run that Argentina went on was an insane run, and he was sort of a key part in that. I always looked at the two. It's like, if I could have someone's medal collection and trophy cabinet and awards collection, who would I choose? And that was Ronaldo for a while, but I think since then, Messi has exceeded sort of what Ronaldo had, and obviously Ronaldo hasn't carried himself well at all, and he's kind of ruined his ending of his career a bit, but obviously going to Saudi and whatnot. But I think he is very much number one for me now. Just it is a bit weird. I always will think it's a bit weird though. Like, you got onto like Ronaldo about his knockout goals in the World Cup, and obviously before this year, it was very much the exact same picture for Messi, which is I just always find it like a bit strange when someone says, someone plays football easy and they just make everything work with simplicity, and they find playing football easy, and then for Argentina that just like sort of completely disappears. But then it was the same with Ronaldo, so it was always one that's kind of like I've just thought a bit strange. Like
on that note, yes, and it was a valid point. Before Messi never had, did he have one knockout goal before the World Cup? Before this World Cup? No, he had none. Okay, he did have assists in the previous World Cup though. But I did actually tweet before the World Cup that neither Messi or Ronaldo have a good legacy in the World Cup before this World Cup. They didn't. And Messi, even though he didn't have a knockout goal, I still thought in 2014 he was very good in the World Cup. The performance level was really, really good. 2018, he was... The France game particularly, I know they lost, but I thought he was great that game. Him and Mbappe were the two best players on the pitch. Di Maria was good as well. Do you disagree?
No, I think Pogba was better than Messi.
Oh, Pogba as well. Yeah, okay. He was Argentina's best player anyway, Messi. Yeah. And Di Maria was good as well. So I do think he did have performances in the World Cup. It was just that knockout goal that eluded him. And, I mean, if some things went differently, he probably would have had the World Cup in 2014 anyway. I mean, he had a big miss himself in the final. Higuain had a big miss in the final. Yeah. So, you know, if both of them bury their chances, he has a World Cup earlier. But I just think this World Cup, it was his time. It felt right. On the run from the Copa America, from the first game of the Copa America to the World Cup final, he scored or assisted in every single one of Argentina's game from that point, apart from the Copa America final. That's the only game on that whole run of 40 games, maybe a bit more, that he didn't get a goal or an assist in.
Yeah, crazy run. He really brought it back because after the 2018 World Cup, I don't know, I didn't see a way back from Argentina. He's had a lot of trials and tribulation with Argentina in 2015, 16, the Copa America losses. He's had a difficult time. It's not easy being a star player of a team and, you know, someone F's up at the back or you miss a pen and it's like, wow, you're supposed to be the guy to carry us. But all that convo's done now. He's won both of them trophies. What I will ask is, has he had it easy his whole career? He came into the Barcelona team when he was about 17, 18. Obviously a tremendous talent. He had Xavi, he had Ronaldinho, he had Eto'o. Stayed there and then obviously had Pep Guardiola, the best manager of all time. The best midfield arguably of all time. Has moved to a PSG team. And, you know, you've got Mbappe, you've got Neymar. Whereas some would say Ronaldo, CR7, hasn't had that.
What, did Ronaldo play for Everton or something?
Nah, but he joined, fair enough, he joined Man United.
Biggest club in England.
Biggest club in England.
Most successful club in England.
It took him a few years to win the league when he was there. They were finishing third a couple seasons. They took them to the top, got them Champions League, went to Real Madrid. Real Madrid hadn't won Champions League in ages. I told you about their record in the Champions League then.
Barca hadn't won the Champions League in ages either. Won it. Before Messi.
Okay, yeah, even longer. But
even longer, yeah.
You know, Real Madrid weren't getting past round 16 for years and years and years. He goes and wins a three-peat. And then obviously, you know, all the players he played with Argentina. Has he had it easier than some of the players on this list?
No.
Keelan?
Yeah, I think he's had it easier than some of the players on the list. I don't think he's had it any easier than Ronaldo. And then I think, yeah, like in terms of what having it easy is that. But I think, yeah, like the best players play with the best. I don't think it's something you can bring them down for. I think like the ideal situation is if you're a good football player, you'll get your recognition and you'll go to a big club. Some underdog stories and stuff are nice, but they're not. They're not for the top 10 debates. Like,
if anything, it's harder to break through in a club like Barca and like a Madrid than it is if Messi would have started off at Valencia, been great for Valencia, and then got his move to Barca and won the same as what he's won now. What's the difference?
Yeah, no, there's not much difference. What I'll say about Messi is that it's really amazing in sport and anything. I've always said this, when a player has so much potential, actually just maximise the most. Messi couldn't have done any more. He came in at 17 to 18 and was tipped to be the next Maradona. That's massive pressure at that age, right? And so many players have crumbled at that. You had, if you're going back, Pablo Aimar, Javier Saviola, these players have been tipped to be the next Maradona. Riquelme, all these Argentinian pretenders. Messi went on and maximised every bit out of his career he possibly could have. The only slight blemish, there's not even a blemish, man. But there's not a blemish, bro. No, but you know, the harshest critics will say, since 2015, where's he been in the Champions League? Which is very harsh because, you know, he's been Barcelona's best player. And I mean, I think in the Champions League, I mean, Mbappe's been their clear best player, but I do think Messi's had good performances in the Champions League for them. Yeah. And I mean, last year they just crumbled from Donnarumma being a bozo and Marquinhos being a bozo. Yeah. To be honest, like that's it. Yeah.
That's it. And for the record, I do think they're in with a huge chance this year as well. I do think there's a thing there where it seems like they'll never win it, but they've got a huge chance of winning that this year. Yeah. And you know, the way Messi's been playing and the way it's going for Mbappe as well, it wouldn't surprise me if they win that this year. Yeah. And that would top off the most incredible sporting journey I've ever seen in my life, and it's something I'll tell my kids and my grandkids. You know, the same way my dad speaks about Maradona, I'm going to speak about Messi, but it's going to be I'm going to have even more evidence to back that up.
Yeah, no, Messi is one to remember definitely, and one to tell your kids about. Yeah, I don't know.
He's a once in a generation player.
100%, and you know the fact he's been able to. You have to rate his mentality. A lot of people say he's just naturally talented. He's also got the best mentality.
16 years at the top, right?
Yeah, that's so hard, and he's lost pace and he's lost whatever physical attributes, but he's gone on. Just had his best World Cup. Just had one of the best World Cups ever. You know. So that's it, man. Messi in first. I'll run you through the top 10 again.
Pretty much undisputed as well.
Yeah, Maldini was 10th. Let's just go through it. Maldini 10. Thierry Henry 9. Johan Cruyff 8th. Pele 7th. Zidane 6th. I can't be asked to look, man. Who was 5th?
Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho 5th.
Then Pele.
Zidane was 5th. Ronaldinho 6th.
Ronaldinho 6th. Pele 4th.
Oh, Pele was 7th.
Yeah, Pele was 7th. Yeah, it was Cruyff 8th, Pele 7th.
Yeah.
Ronaldinho 6th. Zidane
5th.
Maradona 4th.
Diego Maradona 4th.
CR7 third. Ronaldo 2nd. And Messi 1st.
Yeah.
So just for the TikTok purposes, it's 10th was Maldini. 9th was...
Henry.
8th was Cruyff.
Yeah.
7th was Pele.
Yeah.
6th was Ronaldinho. 5th was Zidane.
Yeah.
4th was Maradona.
Yeah.
3rd was CR7.
Yeah.
2nd was R9. And 1st was Leo Messi.
Yeah.
That list is a little bit jumbled up to me. But, you know, look, how many people did we ask in total?
12.
12 people in total. That's a good sample size. People at
Yeah.
different ages as well and different ways of viewing things. So, look, man, that's yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's
That's
as
it.
fair as we can possibly
I think
get.
it's a fair list, and I think, I don't know, on reading it doesn't look too bad. Just quickly before we end, 2 questions for both of you. Who should have been on that list that wasn't on the list, first of all? And second of all, if you were doing your list again, would you have added someone, or would you have done the list differently? Go on.
Yeah. I'd probably thinking about it, I'd probably either Beckenbauer or Henry would get into my team now. I didn't actually deep the career Henry had until you started reading off the stats to me.
Yeah.
He'd probably get in there, and I think someone like Beckenbauer probably deserves to be on that list.
Yeah.
And some would argue that someone like Modric deserves to be on the list as well. I
Yeah.
mean, I personally don't think so, but they could argue that.
Yeah.
So I think for that list, I think that Mbappe, I agree with you on that. I think Mbappe should be there. But then with regards to sort of players that I'd add to mine, probably, sort of Cruyff. I think when you compare it to other careers, he was a really good career. And then, maybe Eusebio. I know he wasn't really mentioned today, but sort of hearing those sort of careers, and then just obviously what I know about his career, his is pretty dominant compared to them. But those two.
That's fair. Eusebio, I was thinking of him, and Di Stefano is a guy I'm definitely going to have
Puskás
to...
as well.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look into these guys, man, because Di Stefano won 5 UCLs, bro. In a row?
First 5.
Yeah.
In a row. So, in
crazy.
terms of English players, I don't think anyone really gets close. Maybe Wayne Rooney get close, maybe Beckham. Apart from that, I don't think any... Bobby Moore, maybe, man. Bobby Charlton, Gerrard Lampard's, them guys, goals. Top 30 pushing, I'd say. But yeah, that's it, man. It's been a great episode. I've enjoyed that. Thank you, Keelan, for coming on. You've done your thing, 100%.
Thank you for having me on the pod.
No worries, man. Anytime. Louie, again, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, man. And let us know what you think about this list. Like, share, comment. We really appreciate your support on all platforms. Wow, 2 hours of speaking. I can't speak anymore. But until next time, that's it. It's been
Peace
love.
out, man.
Nice one.
Peace
out.